Hi friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm Katie and today we're going to do a planner lineup discussion, first of my 2023 and then of my 2024. So I've been on the fence about filming this video because I don't feel like it's going to be very interesting. I'm doing nearly a one-to-one transition from 2023 to 2024. And so I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to have anything interesting to say, so we'll find out if I do. But as I was thinking about it, I decided that there's value in representing contentment in the planner industry and in the planner, community. This isn't to bash anyone who's here making YouTube videos, but I see and I watch, and to be honest with you, I enjoy a lot of videos about planner crisis and lineup changes and whatever, but that's really not the place that I'm personally in, and I just thought we could talk about it. So I'm going to move the 2024 to the side and talk about 2023, or maybe we'll do it book by book. So let's start with what I started the year with, which is this B6 Common Planner from Sterling Inc. I bought the half years. This is the first half of the year, and here's the second half. They both got pretty chunky, not enormous, but definitely pretty fluffed. I am glad I got the half year version, and in a world where a lot of planners come out every year, there were more this year than there were last year to decide between in this style. I've decided that one of the things that is critical to me is half years. I have to narrow these planners down somehow, and to be honest with you, this is a way that really eliminates a lot of the options, and I just don't want to deal with something twice as thick as this. They start off real cute, nice and thin, but like I don't want to do twice that. So I've been really happy with the half year choice. Last year there wasn't a size choice, but I've been very happy in B6. B6 I used in my planner the year before as well, although that one was a discbound planner. So I really like B6. I find it to be a very pleasant size, and I don't regret that. I love the paper. I love the layout. I've been very happy. I have changed my style in here a lot. So at the beginning of the year, I was legitimately planning in here like this. And I had a whole bunch of layouts that I enjoyed doing that in. I have full flip throughs for the first 3 quarters on my channel, and I will do one for Q4 when it is over. So at the beginning of the year, I was planning in the front and journaling in the back, and really enjoyed that. I love having undated notes pages in the back, enough for one a day, but some days I do whole days, and some days I do partial days, and some days I do 2 pages. I like that flexibility. I average out pretty well. I think in this first half, my journaling ended on 176, and then I did some swatching and stuff. There's maybe about 4 pages I don't really feel like I used. I'm on track to have a few more blank pages at the back of this year's, although hopefully not too many. I was drawing fake sample spreads and whatever. Currently I need to do 2 pages a day for the rest of the year, and that'll still leave me with about 15 extra. So that makes me feel a little bad to have unused pages. We'll see how I do. I will have a lot to journal here in the end of the year while I'm on vacation and spending time with my family. So overall, I think it's the right number of pages generally, but you know, life happens sometimes. I have switched to no longer planning in the weekly pages, but doing these layouts, journaling layouts, which I am really enjoying. So I'm still using the weekly, not every week. You'll notice there are some blank ones, but a lot of the time, and it's still a part of my system that I really enjoy. So what did I buy for 2024? Exactly the same thing. 2-book system, sterling ink, gold edges, pink covers. Not that I'm so committed to the pink, but I do tend to cover the covers, and the pink is the lightest one and the easiest to cover. So I did do an unboxing. Clearly I haven't done anything with these yet, although it's getting to be time. But I did buy exactly the same thing. There are some minor changes that Catherine made, but I expect to not change anything, at least for the first half of the year. One of the things that's nice about the 2-book system is that there is a scheduled changing point. So if you get antsy, A, you could sell the second half, or B, you could at least just feel like, hey, I have a new half, and that's a little refresh built in. And I do really, really like that. Another key part of my lineup this year has been my passport planner, and I have talked about this a fair amount. This happened when Catherine of Sterling Ink announced the lineup and started taking pre-orders. I was very intrigued by the passport. It's just such an adorable size, but I didn't really know if it would work for me or not, and so I printed simulation traveler's notebook inserts and fell head over heels in love. So I've been using this layout since July, although not in an official common planner. I do have my official common planner. I did pre-order it once I discovered that I liked it, and I have that ready to go. I have a couple of videos that I will link. I've stopped doing the cards in the description of what I'm planning on putting in each section. So if you're curious, you can check that video out. I did also have a video, and it is something I'm still experiencing, which is that I pre-ordered this before she announced that she was going to do inserts, and I was very on the fence about if I wanted to do the book or the inserts, but I had already ordered the book, and so I decided to stick with the book, and that is still what I'm doing, but I am still a little tense about it. So I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of the layout, I've been really enjoying it. It keeps me really organized and on task, and I carry this book with me around everywhere, and it has really, really become a critical part of my organizational system in the last 6 months. So I also have some other inserts in here, one that's just for random scratch notes, one that's for like longer term kinds of things, a monthly because I didn't have that in there, and some other kinds of stuff. And I am still trying to figure out how to move that forward in the book. I'm a little afraid that I'm going to run out of the daily pages in the book, and that there are some things I don't actually want inside of the book. So there are still some things pending here. I think I will be adding other elements to the passport in the same way that I currently do, in the form of my different inserts. I don't yet know if they're going to be formatted as inserts, or I'm also toying with the idea of adding a tiny ring planner. to the system. The reasons for this are twofold. One, I don't have enough pages. I know I'm going to need some other pages, and that probably I will want to design them or buy designed things that I won't want them all to just be like blank grid. Two, I know myself, and I find that to be an important part of one's planner journey. I have been using this whole planner for a solid year, all of 2023, and I'm moving to exactly the same thing in 2024. And I've been using what is essentially this for the last 6 months. So if I do a full year in it, it will be a year and a half. That is an incredibly long amount of time for someone as experimental as I am to stay in the same things. Now, what I like about the Sterling Ink Common Planners is that there's a lot of room to experiment and to vary while staying in the same book, and that's how I've been as happy as I have in the B6 version for as long as I have, is that I've changed it. I've still changed even though the book hasn't. And I like that the Sterling Ink planners have a lot of room for that. Having said that, I think I'm going to feel a little penned in 2024, and I just want to build in ways of relieving some of that experimental need without throwing out my system. And so I think tiny rings might be, or inserts, I really don't know. It will be either, as the supplement to my passport, is going to be a place for me to still feel like I can experiment and to try new things and to, I don't know, change my whole habit tracking system or my meal planning, like something. Even if it's not like the major guts of my planning system, I still feel like I'm going to need the room to explore. And I just think that a small supplemental system that's versatile and adjustable is going to be the right thing for me. So I don't have the rings yet. I placed an order for just the ring mechanism, and those are coming because I might do some weird sewing stuff. We'll see. You'll see an update about that when I actually have moved in and tried things. But I think it's important to know who I am and what makes me happy, and the room to experiment is a thing that is important to me. But another thing that is important to me is finishing the things I start. So I think a little supplemental thing will help keep both of those goals in order. I do also really, really love this cover that I made, although I'm starting to get tired of the bow. And I'm a little afraid that what I do next isn't going to fit in here. So that's a disappointment, although I can buy this leather again, and I might. And so something new with it. Then the last part of my 2024 system, I've actually already started because I bought the undated version. And this is the Paper Tess Designs weekly notebook. And I did do like an unboxing and first impressions on the channel. I've been using it for 3 weeks now. I don't have the planner I used for 2023 with me. It's still at work. But all I was using was a planner Monkey Coast of different company, but a gridded, like Bujo essentially, notebook. And all I was doing was just listing the days of the week down here and then a rolling task list down the right side of the page. It was fine, but I was ready for something new and I was ready for some different structure. So I picked this Paper Tess Designs. This is the planner I had enjoyed looking at all of 2023 but hadn't bought, and I decided that if I had been so enamored with it all of 2023, I did a fake spread for it in my B6 planner to see if it would actually work for me, and I thought it would, and so I decided to go ahead and get it this year, although I did get it and then undated, A, because I don't mind dating it, and B, because that gives me some flexibility to move out of it if it really doesn't work for me, and maybe move it to a personal planning instead of work planning if it comes to that. Although the first 3 weeks I've done have been really good. So I like, so here are the first 3 weeks. I'm not going to linger here, but I like doing the hourly for my work days. I find it useful to roughly see. I don't have a lot of timed meetings, which is good. I appreciate that about my job, but it does mean that it's easy to forget them because they don't happen that often. I'm not paying that much attention. So I do like having timed meetings here. I've been putting the weather because here in Michigan, the weather this time of year definitely affects my work life because I don't like to drive in the snow. So I really enjoy doing that. I have this week and next week lists here, which I've been enjoying, and then a lab notebook running list. And then on the left, I've been doing the major day specific tasks, although like my fuller lists are here in the pages, and that's where I can really get into all the nitty gritty. This is more like upper level decisions, and then like a notes or coming up or whatever section here in the right. And I've been really happy so far. Obviously, it's only been 3 weeks, but I think the design on this is really good. I think the use for it for me is really good. If I had one complaint, and it's not practical, is I wish it were a 5-day planner instead of a 7-day planner. I wish I had a little more room here because it was divided by 5 instead of 7. I wish I had a little more room here because it was divided by 5 instead of by 7, but that's not a realistic request, and I grant that. But I think that it's got a lot of really good spaces and a lot of really functional spaces that don't force me into anything I don't want to do. So I really like that. It's like just the right amount of structure. Everything feels like it has a spot, and I get that satisfaction, coziness that I'm kind of missing from my Bujo. But none of it is prescribed to me really in terms of what I put in each section, and I really appreciate that. So that is my lineup. I'm only talking here about things that are 2024 specific. So I do have other journals, things like my 5-year journal, things like my random memory journal, which is where I journal when I think of something from previous years that I want to remember and think about. Those aren't year specific. Those are just, I started them and they will keep going until they stop. They don't start in 2024 and end in 2024. So I'm not really considering those part of my lineup. So here's my lineup here. Very, very minimal changes, but I'm really excited. I mean, when you find something that works, yeah, it's fun to lean in and to really enjoy it. And hopefully it works for another full year for me. So I'd be curious to hear what is included in your lineups. If you are a YouTuber, feel free to leave the link below. But if not, leave a comment. I'll be fascinated to hear about what's in people's lineups. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit the thumbs up button. That really helps me out. And there's the subscribe button if you want to hear more from me. And we will talk again soon. Bye, friends.